Hey guys, Ryan Bailey for Charlotte FC. This is Between Two Pints, and joining me today, a very special guest, Mr. Darrius Barnes, former MLS defender, current director of business operations for Charlotte FC. Darrius, how are you doing today, sir? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. Cheers.
Thank you very much for joining me. First off, can we get a little note on your role with Charlotte FC? What do you do to help the team grow every day?
Yeah, it's a bit of an ambiguous role, but essentially just helping out all across the business functions of the team, from commercial partnerships, some of our community engagement, helping out with our MLS2 strategy, broadcasts, fan engagement, a lot of our field marketing as well. So wear a number of different hats across the organization, but just really just rolling up our sleeves, trying to dig in just to help this club grow and plan for a successful 2022 campaign.
Awesome stuff. I'm so excited to have you here that I'm spilling beer all over my trousers in excitement.
Sorry, I'll spill with you.
Thank you very much. You were born and raised in Raleigh. How exciting is it to have a team here, an MLS team here in the Carolinas?
It's surreal, to be honest. It's just fantastic to be able to have a club, in my quote-unquote home market. I know there's a small rivalry between Raleigh and Charlotte, but to be able to have a club in the Carolinas, when I was growing up, the closest club was DC United, so I went to a few of those games, but didn't really have an attachment to a club. So just to be able to have, a club right here in the Carolinas that, really intersects the culture all through North Carolina, South Carolina, and even beyond, I think it's going to be amazing for the community.
Now, you're no stranger to MLS, of course. You were drafted in 2009 and you went to New England Revolution. Can you tell us what that experience was like?
Yeah, it was a great moment. That was probably obviously the peak of my career, being drafted by New England Revolution. I played there from 2009 to 2016, so it was just, you reach the pinnacle, as a player, as a youth player, you dream about playing at the highest level, and, for me, being able to get to MLS was, I was very blessed, very fortunate, very lucky. You got to have a good support system, and, obviously you got to do due diligence and put the work in. So, I was happy to see that pay off, because that's not always the case. And for the most part, I stayed somewhat injury-free, which helped me prolong my career a bit. So, it was just a fantastic moment. So I'm happy now to still be involved with the sport, still be involved with the league that gave me an opportunity to play professionally, and see the league grow, because I don't know if I could play in the league today, because it's changed so much from when I played.
Well, let's talk about that. How much has it changed? It wasn't that long ago that you retired from the game. You came in 2009. What kind of changes have you seen?
You just see how the clubs resonate in their markets. The clubs are really resonate with fans in their markets, so you're really seeing that. But more than anything, it's just the quality on the pitch. I think player development. What owners have done to invest. In their academy systems has been fantastic, and you're starting to see that come to fruition and see that pay off. And then just obviously the import and export of players. We're bringing in top talent. MLS is bringing in top talent globally, attracting top talent all across the world, which is really, invoking and inspiring us here domestically. And obviously with the homegrown talent that continues to come through, just the quality on the pitch and just the level of play on the pitch has been, mesmerizing to see that growth year over year.
I was rewatching your game highlights on YouTube this morning, Darrius. No, it's all good. It's all good. I wanted to know what has been your career highlight.
I'd say two things. First was just, the first moment, I stepped on an MLS pitch, just, understanding that you had, all the hard work you put in was worth it, and you'd made it to a point that, that a lot of people don't get to make it to. So I was very fortunate in that respect. So just standing in, the starting 11 with the Star Spangled Banner playing was a marquee moment. And then I'd also say my first goal against New York Red Bulls. It was a header, of course. Defenders don't really score at their feet, so it was a header. And then making it to an MLS Cup final in 2014. Just that group of teammates. I think that's what you miss most about professional environment. Is just the locker room and the teammates that you build and grow special bonds with. Unfortunately, we didn't win MLS Cup that year, but making it was a special ride.
I bet it was. And can you talk about the transition from retiring from soccer to entering, can we call it civilian life? I mean, you went to work for the league in New York, now you're here with us as well. What's it like when you don't have to go training every day and your life changes quite a lot?
Yeah, to be honest, it's a complete 180. Obviously, there are things that you take from your playing career that translates to, once you transition into an alternative career. But it's a tough one. Like I said, you just, you get used to a cadence of life. A lot of times you have things catered to you as a professional athlete, but your work schedule's, completely different than, the 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 to 9 that you pull these days. But it's something that takes an adjustment, and I think a lot of professional athletes struggle with it, whether it's an identity thing or just, like you said, a schedule thing. I think when I first started working with the league office, as a player, I'd be going from about 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. or so, and I could take a nap around 3 or 4. When I first started working at the league office, I'd start to get to that nap time, and I'd want to kind of want to nod my head a little bit, and so that was a bad look. So you got to kind of fight through that and just get used to a different rhythm, just understanding how the corporate world works. But at the same time, there are a lot of things that you take away from your playing days, just the camaraderie with your team, knowing how to connect with people, effectively communicating. There's a lot of transferable skills I took from my playing days that I use every day, with my role at MLS and my role now with Charlotte FC.
Right. Can I suggest that you bring something from your career and you introduce a 3 p.m. nap time at the Charlotte FC office? I think we'd all benefit from that.
I think I'd introduce maybe like a 2 p.m., maybe 6v6, and then a 3 p.m. nap time, and then we can carry on with those next few hours.
Love it. Let's propose it. I love it. Charlotte FC, can you tell me about how you think the team is set up for success going forward? It seems like we're going all cylinders at the moment, and what's your perspective?
Yeah, I think the club is taking all the right steps in building the club. I think on the technical side of the house, I think Zorn, Mark and team have done a fantastic job just laying brick by brick, just building the roster. Very methodically. I think we're taking a very methodical and strategic approach in terms of how we're building the club, just even how we've integrated and got the academy up and running, and the steps and the groundwork that's being laid there to build it from a homegrown perspective. I think is essential to the success that this club is going to have. Then I think from on the commercial and business side, I think Nick's done a great job of really luring in and attracting young, vibrant, diverse talent. Inclusive talent that's really wants to be here, and I think that's what you got to have first. You got to have people that want to be here, that have a passion, that want to see the club grow, and it's a special opportunity to be able to build something from the ground up. Not many people get to say they we're at the incubation stages and the infant stages and really have seen something mature and grow. So I'm so excited just to see what we grow into, what we become as an adult club, in the next few years. But I think that's just the most amazing thing, just bringing in people who really want to be here and getting involved with the community, because without the community, Charlotte FC isn't anything. So we'll continue to engage and make sure we're all growing and uplifting together.
Love it. Thank you very much, Darrius Barnes. A pleasure to share a beer with you.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Cheers.